Thank you, Holly. Ooh. We are talking about some walls falling today. So the title of today's talk is, I Release the BS. Now that could mean a couple of things, but today we're going to be talking about our belief systems. How do we release our belief systems? It's really interesting that we have this sacred ceremony, this sacred ritual here in Unity that allows us to have a clean slate every year, if we choose to. If we choose to. What do we know? Let's start with what we know. We know that the past is unchangeable, isn't it? Is there anything that you could do today, right now, to change the past? No, there isn't. And yet, we are often back in the past, reviewing. Well, I could have done that differently. Well, maybe that was the one that got away. Maybe I should have gone to this school, taken this path. And what does that do? What do we know that does? When we stay in that mindset, what does that do for us?
You get more of the same.
You get more of the same. Mm-hmm. Because we know that whatever we focus on, we get more of. So if we are focused on the past, I don't know how we can be back there looking back and moving forward. It's a very hard thing to do. And one of the things that I talk about a lot is how our underlying beliefs drive us. Even when we come into unity and we start putting denials and affirmations on top of that. And we wonder, well, why am I not manifesting the way that I think I should? Why is my life not going in the direction or the way that I would like it to go? And the reason for that is that we still have those beliefs, that belief system underneath that is driving us. That we are operating, that's our mode of operation. So it's kind of like having two softwares on your computer, right? Operation drives, right? You cannot have a Windows and a Mac on the same computer, can you? Because they don't work together. So it's the same thing. When we have these belief systems that are there that are unconscious, may not have been looked at, and then we're trying to bring in this new system, they don't work well together unless we look at what is lying underneath. So I'll give you an example in my life. We came to the States from England, where I was born, when I was about 7.5 going on 8. So I'm an October baby. So, when you're little, you're always ahead. And when you're older now, I'm always behind. I'm not that old yet. So 7.5 going on 8, and we came here to a completely different world. It's interesting because English is the predominant language, Western culture, yet completely different beings. And so, for my parents, it was really difficult. It was the first time that I actually saw them fighting and arguing with each other. And what do kids do when they don't fit in or they don't feel like they're a part of or their stuff at home? They create a very rich imaginary life. And one of the things that I had as a kid was this big red ball. You know those big plastic balls? They're like that. This ball was just one of my friends. It was real to me, very real. And there was a back porch area, and I was bouncing the ball, and it did a high bounce and went into the street. And a car came and killed the ball, all right? Because that's what it was like for me. That was a living entity in my world that made sense to me. And the driver killed the ball. And I screamed, and my dad comes running out. He's like, what? I'm like, he killed my ball, he killed my ball. And the poor driver is like, oh my God, I killed her ball, you know? And my dad is like, it's not a big deal. And the guy's like, well, I can replace the ball for her. And my dad's like, no, it's not a big deal. It's not necessary. I cried for that loss. And I was also told, it's not a big deal. My dad never replaced that ball. Okay, and that's a moment in my life where I can reflect back to and go, men will not support me. Men will not love me and understand me. Men will kill my dreams. And as time goes on, I looked for that over and over and over again from my dad. Because I'm operating on an unconscious belief. Everyone with me? Then I find unity. I'm like, wow, this is great. I can change my life. So I'm doing denials and affirmations. Nothing's working. Nothing's working. I'm in these relationships with like, why? How could I even find these losers, right? And there they are, this magnet with the sign on it. Yes, Sherrie will take care of you. Come on in. But what they were doing was expanding my belief system. The belief system that men will not care for me, men will kill my dreams, until I was able to look at that unconscious belief, that is not true. It's kind of like we have a groove, you know, in those records, the old ones, the LPs, they had those grooves that the music play on. Our belief system's also like that. We have those grooves. So for me in this situation, men will not support me. And I just keep popping back to that groove. You know, when it gets stuck and it's like and it's just stuck. And so I was living my life and wondering, why was I not getting the love, the care that I so wanted? So it's looking at those belief systems and checking them. Is that real? Is that real? What's my piece in this? Where is my belief that this has to be my truth? And then I've got an opportunity to change that. So today, as we do this process about release, what I love about it is we can make it as sacred and as meaningful as we want to. But what this is about is allowing ourselves to look at those beliefs, not just last year. We normally just do it for last year, what we didn't like in last year, and we write that down and we release that. But I'm asking you to go a little deeper to those unconscious beliefs that may be driving you. I'm asking you to do that work, to allow Spirit to move in and through you, to allow that to bubble up, because you are in a safe place. And you're ready. If you are here, you are ready to do this release. We are releasing not just our thoughts, but our feelings and the energy that we put into those beliefs. Because when we free that up, we then have energy to allow goodness to come into our lives. Allow the universe to now support our dreams and our manifestations. So we want to release this. We want to empty ourselves out as we are allowing for goodness. And what I want to do is I'm going to stop here for a brief moment, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Normally we talk about burning bowl, the burning bowl ceremony, but two things. One, we're going to use water. Water is what we're made of. Most of us, right? We're made mostly of water. Our planet is mostly of water. And water is seen as this cleansing purification. Water that is so powerful it can cut through mountains. Water. So many different religions use water for purification, such as in Hinduism. They use the Ganges River, right, for purification. In the Christian Judea religion, the floods that have come are about cleansing the earth. Water. And I like using water because it means that we do this ourselves. We don't need an external stimulant for us to do this release work. Water is of us. We do this. And I have to tell you, personally, water is where I've done most of my release work. You know, it's just part of the universe, part of the allness. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Holly in a minute to prepare us for meditation. I want to make sure that everyone has one of these slips. If you do not, then you need to raise your hand and one of the ushers will bring you a slip. Now you'll notice that the slips of paper, they're not really big, are they? They're pretty small. So this is not about writing your novella. This is not about writing the story. This is 1 or 2 words of what you want to release. And if there are 4 things you'll write, 4 words or 8 words, something like that. Because you know what the story is. You don't have to write it down. After the meditation, Rama is going to put you in the silence so that you can come up with what is yours to release. And then I'll come back up and we'll go through the process of putting your slips of paper in the water and allowing it to dissolve. All right? So I'm doing my talk really short so that you have more time.